Hello everyone and welcome back. We finally have a live game. Movistar Riders versus Nemiga. Sorry about a bit of a delay, nothing much we can do about that, but now we're live and we get to see how exactly this one will play out. Already it's far too left for Banana and poor old Leo will get caught on the angle. Will take him down. Heavy G does get a second as well. That's Idis Balance out of the round after just getting his one kill. And that will actually mean that there's only one player left on the back of the site. Box is trying to distract by popping his bullet through the smoke, but no, it's not going to work out. Even some Pies holding back in Banana will catch the flank. So it's only Box remaining. They know where he is as he popped those P2K bullets from CT spawn. But it will be an expected start for Movistar.
Yeah, just traded out well up towards Banana initially, and obviously even a good punish down onto the potential flanker coming down towards Banana. And, well, Premeir is a player we're going to have to keep an eye on because, again, we just have absolutely zero idea what to expect of him. He didn't look, at least having a glance at the stats in that matchup versus Entropic, he didn't look too bad. I mean, if you were comparing him up against Lyr and Box, who didn't have a great game either. But we're going to need to see a lot more than not too bad in this matchup if they want to be beating out Movistar and getting themselves an early win here in their Esea Premier season. Obviously, they didn't actually have a matchup last week, so this is their opening game, I do believe.
Yep, that is right. Movistar already won their first game of the season against one win in a pretty convincing fashion. And yeah, this will be Nemiga's first matchup. But it might be a rough season for them, of course, without Lollipop. He was one of their star players. And as we say, playing with Premeir, we don't really know what he can bring to the table apart from that one match, to be honest, that we saw the other day against Entropic. And Entropic is not really the easiest, team to be thrust into to get started. But yeah, we'll be curious to see how it goes. It should be a pretty easy second round when we start, but who knows? I mean, they have gone for 3 MAC-10s and 2 Galils, actually, not a single AK, so there's a chance the combination of the Pists and the Scout could do something, but they're going to be fully executing toward B. All the flashes are going to be coming in. We need some 5-7 frags to come in, but not to be. Pies gets the first on that MAC-10. Actually, Alex gets taken down to 4 HP, but with the bomb being planted, usually this is a situation where you say, okay, try again next round with these pistols.
Yeah, I mean, just like, let's pause it, guys. Pretend this round didn't happen. Have a little bit of a redo, and then if it doesn't work, you're going straight onto guns in the round afterwards, so you don't even have really a long time to think about it. So I definitely back that strat, especially when you've got that Scout in play, which just isn't going to have a great time on the retake. Have a bit more opportunity to combine alongside those pistols in the next round. Clean work, though, from Movi. 5 alive. They just, again, managed to walk their way into B uncontested with that kill on Lyr, and with that now, we've got themselves already a pretty solid economy being built up going only into this third round, where, again, there is at least some chance for Nemiga to make it a costly one. It does seem like we're getting a very strong Movistar here in these early rounds. Heavy on the SMGs, though, which is always kind of scary. They will still be keeping the 3 of them. It could mean going into the first gun round, they'll have a couple left in play, but if they keep this smooth, then it should at least be a bonus round anyway, going into it at the very least. But it does give a chance to the Scout and the pistols.
Yeah, for sure. There's always a second bite at the cherry when you're in that sort of situation. And it can happen so often on Inferno as well when the saves come in, of course. It is a save central map, unfortunately. Thankfully, it's provided so many insane moments over the years that we can forgive it. A nice stink early on. Puts Sergio down to 23 HP already. I believe that was from the MAC-10. A couple of bullets through the wall. Flashes coming over. Again, the 2 MAC-10s taking the top of Banana. And yeah, we spoke about Premeir as well, about how we don't really know much about him. Really, before that game for Nemiga the other day, the only real team he's played with was a Belarusian mix with players like Hitmouse. You probably remember him, one of the legends of the Belarus scene. And I believe he's also played for Trident, I think, as well, perhaps as a stand-in in the RMR Open Qualifier back a few months ago. And I think that's actually probably 4 or 5 months ago now, so that's quite a long time. But yeah, that's where sort of he appeared last, if you want to say. So I'll be curious to see if he can have a decent game. He had one insane game against, I think Onyx was the roster in a Multi-Vibes event. So yeah, it's going to be curious to see if he can do anything more.
Yeah, so he's clearly a player that they've been keeping an eye on for a while in general. Some people have been. As you said, though, showed himself for a while and then kind of just disappeared into thin air.
Oh my god. That actually works as well, and I hate it.
It works in my accent.
Perfectly. Yeah, true. Very good point. Anyway, we've taken top of middle, and some parts will get himself another entry. The Galil will ring off again, and he's been insane, not just on the AWP, which we'll probably see later, also on the rifles as well. Really impressive performances from him. And they've taken the A site. Only actually 8 seconds to go, so if there was someone in the corner who didn't go checked, they probably could have denied the bomb plant and possibly even won the round with 1 kill. But not to be. And once again, Nemiga will be saving, and that's probably their best choice in this scenario, to be fair. I mean, they're going to have a bye next round anyway. I doubt ID's Balance keeps the scout. I'd be really surprised. But, you know, at least the Rivals are going to have upgraded pistols to surround it and probably give ID's Balance one of them to have a bit of a sidearm along with the AWP.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind maybe if Vitus Balance gave the scout to someone else, but I think he definitely needs to get the op out since he's, again, one of the players we're going to look at to really kind of step up for the lack of lollipop now. Mopus, he's just chilling with his teammate over in Apser. They're on the wrong side of the map. Unfortunately, they won't get to do much about the savers, and I don't think the other two will either. They're not really risking giving their own guns away. I think they're just very happy to see that they've taken these initial few rounds with all 5 surviving. They're like, okay, yeah, keep your terrible pistols, keep your scout as well. I might even bait you into not buying enough, which does seem to have been the case now. ID's Balance is going to buy up his nades and such. Could have got the off if he wanted. It would have maybe lacked a bit of utility, but he's looking to instead just hang on to this scout, which I think is a very risky approach when they desperately need this first gun round.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, to be fair. I mean, it gives him a lot of money for the future, but the future is the future, and the now is now. And honestly, I feel like they probably should have taken advantage of getting that AWP out as quickly as possible, especially in a game where you sort of will know that you need a decent start, as you are plainly at a disadvantage, having not really got a full roster at the moment. Alex will pop his teammates out of the boiler position. Box going to spray through the smoke, though. He does so much damage to the Mac 10s. Of course, it will be a fast play here for Movistar. It is a bit of a bonus buy, keeping those 3 Mac 10s and the 2 LLs as well. So they are they're content with just sticking around with this for now. A bit of utilities being switched over. Alex now has a full belt again.
It does seem like they'll get this mid control anyway, uncontested, but kind of what at the moment Nemiga are allowing, because they've done pretty good nade damage within these opening moments. It'll help out the scout, it'll help out these M4s, and well, we'll see if they can capitalize on it. Mopo's nearly getting the timing on Jayo. Smoke just about being dropped in time for him to fall back onto the site securely, but it does seem like pretty much all of Movistar now are working their way back up Banana. Thankfully, he's called in for the help of Lear, but they've not got the nades left to actually hold off this bomb site now. It's just going to come down to the shots being landed. A single flash for, I believe, some of the rotators, but they're not even in place as of yet, and it's straight onto the bomb site. Flash in. It actually didn't catch the man in orange, as Lear's able to pop out for the trade afterwards, and he's delaying them massively at least, but it might not be enough. Somehow, Movistar is still going to get the bomb down in a 2-on-2, but they're not looking that healthy.
They're not. Sunpire's down to 9 HP. Box does have a defuse kit as well, so it means they can take their time a little bit about this retake. No need to panic or rush too much. They should be able to find this one out. Unfortunately, they only have 1 flashbang to work with. They need to check, pull hard, because Sunpires will easily get a headshot here if it's not cleared properly. It's actually a bit of a lineup, and because of that, deaths can peek off of him. And look at that. Easy bit of teamwork there from Movistar, despite the HP, and it will mean that Movistar take their fourth. You can see the entries onto the site. That was actually quite a nice setup there for Nemiga, having 1 first orange and 1 second orange. I think ID's Balance was a little bit unfortunate there to get spun on immediately as he pushed through that CT smoke. I think he had his pistol out as he couldn't really afford to jump through that with a scout. So, yeah, it will be 4th from Movistar. And now ID's Balance does have his AWP. This time, though, it's only pistol to surround it.
I'm not loving this buy either, because you get, obviously they're going into the full loss bonus now in the next round. That'll put him at the 4750, but yeah, that's a glass cannon op unless he's able to get something done here. Even if they're op kills, it's only 100 quid per kill. I don't love this, man. You should have just went for it in the previous round if you really that badly wanted it, and probably could have came away with that kill in towards the pool as well. I suppose I am currently being Captain Hindsight, but it is a punishing position to be in currently. An opening kill, though, for ID's Balance, maybe to try and make up for it. If they could recover that weapon, it would be pretty fantastic, but I think for now they're willing to just concede it and make sure that they can hold on to this man advantage. And it seems to have pretty quickly forced the hand of Movistar to call it back towards B, where there is a couple of deagles, but it's not where the heaviest defenses are.
Yeah, true. I mean, winning that previous round with the bonus buy as well means it's such a good one for Movistar's economy. But will it matter if they walk into the pistols? Liggett does great to get 1 on the 5-7, but Alex does manage to trade it. So it's going to be a 3 versus 4 in the afterplant. Alex seems to be a bit unaware where he's getting shot from, but not anymore. The kill feed will tell him exactly where that kill came, and that is through a smoke and through a wall. That's one way to do it if you're Alex. And they're going to go for a double dark setup as well. So even if Nemiga do want to try and attempt to retake here, they don't have a defuse kit picked up. The pistols can run in and look for damage, but Idis Balance will certainly be looking to save. As even though that opening pick actually does get the kill, they're going to go for it. Okay, I like this call. They got the first, and they're going to try and pounce. But now, unfortunately, it's just the two pistols remaining. Axes look fantastic in this round. Hits himself his fourth, but Sun Pius nabs away the ace. But really, that round was all Alex. Very nicely done. 5-0.
Yeah, I mean, Alex, you'd be a little bit upset maybe he doesn't get the ace, but all that matters is that they're currently up 5-0, as you said, and are having an absolutely fantastic time so far. That one through the smoke, as you said, was nasty. Hopefully, the players on the Nemiga able to stay calm in what has been a pretty rough start. And, well, they're going straight to a double-up setup. All right, this is a bit of a jump up. I suppose I obviously wasn't considering that Idis Balance could be dropped his up, so he does at least get armor behind it. But it limits them quite a bit. They don't have nades on two of the players now that they've gone for this double-up setup. And honestly, this isn't all that common of a setup on Inferno, which means it might catch Movistar off guard, sure. But if it comes down to a retake, then they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen that an aggressive AWP can get you an opening frag. We saw Idis Balance going aggressive toward the bottom of the apartments in the second to peek the edge of the second middle area. And yeah, it worked out. And that's going to be a very important opening pick as well. Lair actually manages to win that duel toward Mopaz, and it forces Alex a little bit further to try and trade it. And because of that, Gio on that secondary takes him down. Perhaps there was an AWP shot by Idis Balance on the other side of the map, and that perhaps lured them into that secondary. As you say, it is a bit unusual in Inferno. It can be basically impossible to retake if you have a double AWP in a retake. Des is going to hide in his smoke, though, and just as it fades, he spots Box creeping through. It covers one. So 3 versus 4, though. 45 seconds to go. Is towards short angle. Actually, Des won't check it. That's surprising. You'd have to commit to at least one of the angles, but I expected perhaps a switch round to check that close angle. And that will attain a 4v2, and honestly, with only 30 seconds to go, not sure what Movistar have left in this one.
I mean, with a decent economy, it could have been worthwhile. Maybe just pushing through and seeing if you could take another couple of kills before getting a bomb down even. But yeah, understandably, they'll just back away and save the up and the AK. It's kind of meaningless to just move in and throw it away at this stage. They'll allow at least for 4 players, though, to survive in this first gun round win for Nemiga, which is a desperate need for them, especially with this double-up setup. If they had have come down into a close round, into a 2-on-1 or whatever, even the 1-on-1, they would have been screwed. They definitely wouldn't have been getting a perfect buyback in. So this was crucial. Now they can get the M4, drop the box. They can get all of their utility behind the double-up setup even this time if they want to. And hopefully are able to now continue with that win, because they do need at least another round or two before they actually put a dent in that economy. Likely to too. I think Mopos will maybe be a little bit low here if he has to buy for himself to have enough to buy in the next round, but overall they'll have enough on pretty much everyone. And we get even a little bit of a pause coming in.
Yeah, I believe it is an Nemiga timeout to try and figure out exactly what they want to do in this round. Of course, it's a very important victory for them, as you say, surviving with 4 alive and surviving with both the AWPs as well. It seems like Lear might have a peak or a spawn that he'll choose to be on that one this time, not Geo. So, curious one. But yeah, I mean, Movistar Riders won a few of their rounds with 5 players alive. They won that bonus buy as well with the 3 MAC-10s and the Galils. So they're absolutely fine, and saving was the correct call to keep that AWP into the next round. Not that Nemiga would have taken a third AWP, but still, it probably would have meant that it would have been a significant reinvestment for some Pius, and all his money would have gone. So Mopaz will throw his flash to try and clear out a little bit of Banana, then go back toward the spawn to grab a few other pieces of utility. But yeah, it's already the first round for Nemiga. That'll be good for them, and hopefully it can be a little bit of a springboard to make the game a little bit closer. But Movistar, they know what they're doing, and I think they'll realise the situation, perhaps realise that there are 2 AWPs on the server now, as Idis Balance did not get a kill with his in the previous round.
Yeah, hopefully he'll get a bit of a shot in this one to get something done, but so far it's been a little bit of a slower one. Only now is banana control being taken from Movistar, or for Movistar, from Nemiga rather, who are pretty much conceding that anyway. They're just sitting back on the bomb site. Like Smoke and Molly, though, do quite delay the push, so gives them an extra few seconds, I suppose, before they really have to worry about the full-on commitment coming in. And I can see even the long player there, Idis Balance, is confirming that there's nothing peeking out on mid quite yet. So I'm surprised they haven't maybe taken a little bit of a gander around mid for info so that they can maybe get that stack going on towards B. This is going to be a tough one now. You're going to have Jo, or rather the player in towards the coffins. It's Lear on that secondary up, getting a lot done. Ooh. But it's actually just Jo from around the pillar to go ahead and pick up 2. Tuck himself into cover then so that he can waste some time. Unfortunately losing his teammate though, so he is going to be now hunted down in that back corner, and he struggles to get another, meaning it comes into a 3-on-3 in the end as the bomb gets planted.
Oh, Gio's the MVP here, whether he wins the round or not, to be honest, because managing to get 2 from Pillar and a dink toward WG as well is insane. But unfortunately, he has picked up that AWP, which means on the 9 HP, it won't matter too much. And there we go. The absolute example of that straight away. And he can escape too. 3v2 for Movistar. And now with the kit on box, he's recovered that AWP, so I think they're already thinking about a save. The flashbang will hopefully assist their exit. The body blocking going on, and that might mean that he's stuck in the corner actually. Sometimes it's actually going to hold the angle, and that is clean on the AK. Who needs an AWP? That's 1 AWP headshot and 1 AK headshot in this round. And yeah, that play from WG, even though it was messy to clear out Gio, it in the end was the key as he managed to find the AWP and get that second, which was enough to force Nemiga away.
To leave Nemiga feeling pretty hurt right now. Double up setup they've been going for is going to bite them in the butt just a little bit. They're still able to afford it once again. Just about. I mean, they scrape it out here, this time giving it back to Jo instead of Lear, who didn't really get a chance to get going with it in that previous round. Jo in general, though, just looking pretty good. We got that double rifle kill. We seen him with the op earlier as well when they went towards B, managing to get one as well. So good signs from one of the 2 players that we need stepping up here on this Nemiga side. We need something from Midas Balance as well, though. And while boxing on mid is good for 1, but they've now wrapped their way around long. It was completely open. That's going to make things way, way harder for these rotators even to get into position. But Davey G goes for a bit of an ambitious peek, I've got to say. I don't think that was too necessary. He had a very good position if he kind of just parked the bus for a moment there and just acted as a nuisance, really, so that the CTs would have to be cautious of long.
Yeah, I mean, little did he know that he probably could have just peeked dry toward long and maybe caught off Idas Balance, because I don't think his rotation was complete toward the back of pit yet. But in the end, he walked into the other AWP of Gio. So, yeah, he sort of, as you said, didn't really have much patience in that situation. It's not a problem. It has at least given them the entirety of long to work with. Nemiga fell off of that straight away and have taken back the position 2 toward A and 2 toward B. And Idas Balance will get himself the other one toward Sumpire. It's a good nade as well, actually. Puts deaths down to 55. Good timing on that. And with 35 seconds to go, there's not really much they can do in this situation. Des will have to try and use this smoke to the best of his ability. But right now, I don't think there's really much he'll be able to see from that position. Alex is up toward long. He's looking for a duel. He has a Molotov, but he hears the rotation coming through library. Des has actually got 1, though. Okay, he's dropped down toward pit and got both kills. How on earth did he manage that? I mean, that is... Okay, that is one for Nemiga to look back on later and say, I'm sorry, but that is one we should not be losing in a million years.
Yeah, this really was their round to win out. They had a good setup between the pit players as well initially, and it's just kind of slipped away. I'm surprised Jo is still moving in, to be honest. He's got that up, the bomb, I mean, taken away, considering he doesn't have a kit. It's really not looking too good for him. He's going to give it a go, spots out the legs, lands the first shot on Alex at least, and the molly might be of assistance here to force Deaths out of position in towards the big box, though, with just 4, or rather 15 health points remaining. And he eventually pops out for the kill, as at that point I believe time was already more than gone, again, considering he didn't have a defuse kit to work with. But yeah, I mean, they had everyone ready. They had just a strong setup in general there. As I said, there was kind of mistakes being made by Movistar that were playing into them with that kill being given away on long initially. It seemed like Nemiga had their chance to get back into it, and unfortunately it just gets snatched away from them. And now they don't even have the money for a buy, so Movistar are going to confirm their lead of the half pretty much already, with a chance to build a lot more on top of it. This is just not looking good at all. Again, this is Movistar's map pick in Inferno, as we said, but it's Nemiga's most played map. And with Mirage coming up next, despite it looking really good for them statistically over Movistar, it was Movistar who picked up the win just a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the scary factor of it. Box actually had some good timing there. We'll take down Davy Cheers. He's looking toward middle with the 5-7. But B is the focus of attention, and that smoke is going to be a little bit too late, unfortunately. Death spots one of the players towards the apartments as well. That is Box, who got that kill earlier, and he will spam him down. Just about. Of course, we'll advance further towards CT, just about dealing with Idas Balance. and that probably has dealt with the threat as a player toward Quins, but I don't think there's going to be too much of an issue. He's actually hiding there, and Alex will spot him. But yeah, that previous round will be the one that's the most interesting discussion point, really. I mean, Deaths, as I mentioned, was playing around that smoke toward the balcony, and that was, like, good. But I didn't expect he could just pop down and kill both of them, you know? I mean, and with Alex taking the library player as well, it's just an absolute wipeout of 3 players in the space of a second and a half. So, yeah, not the best from Hero to Zero in that situation. And Tine will probably be looking to try and save. He's got Kevlar to save, so that is something that he won't have to repurchase in the next round. But they are hunting a little bit. Oh, Movistar.
It's a bit risky, though. Tine might even be able to steal Death's weapon, so it doesn't look like he's going to be focused over towards Apps. So I think he might even himself get caught off guard in the end here. Bit of a stalemate, and it just runs out of time in the end. So yeah, not much going to be done there. Either way, 8-1 as we were expecting it to go. There was a bit of hope, though, when this kill came through from Box that maybe something could be done. Did he get that weapon actually from there on second mid? Yeah, I do believe he did. He's actually got himself an AK, handy enough. I didn't realize he picked it up. He got it literally in the last couple of seconds right there. So a good recovery.
Yeah.
It gives them a bit more into the buy. Obviously, they have decent loss bonus going anyway. But you're never going to complain about an AK on top of now the double up setup once again. They're very certain about getting this working, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, and it should have worked, honestly, for a couple of more rounds than just the one, to be fair. Good teamwork, though, to actually get that AK into their hands. The smoke is... Oh, okay, I'm about to say, yeah, the tag is heard. Oppo's taking a bit of damage to that. Actually puts him down to 60 HP, and he almost gets no-scoped straight through that. It puts Nemiga on high alert in that situation, thinking, oh god, there's someone right next to us. Could have easily taken you both down. It would have been the B site open for business. So I'll escape from it for now. Arch will advance forward middle, peek in front of the Molotov and just completely take Box into the eternity. Into the next round for you, my son. And unfortunately, it's another man advantage for Movistar. There are still the 2 ups available for Nemiga, but with only 2 plus toward A, they're going to need to multi-frag.
Chimney Flash going to be going in here from Mopos. They look to just pile out, and well, at the moment, Idis balance on the bomb site looking like he could be in trouble if they just drop out onto the short side of things. Instead, though, straight up fights off the balcony. The op coming in from Moto does get a little bit done, but again, Idis balance trapped in on the bomb site, and honestly, coming away with 2 kills right there is a really good result. It's just unfortunate his teammates aren't able to get any help into him, and you can see Jo doesn't even want to give the retake a go. He's got that up. He's on the go, really. He's back in towards spawn already, so he likely will save it at least. But I don't really see much chance of them saving the game anymore at this stage.
No, very true. I mean, the small details of that push from Movistar, I really like what Davig did. Sure, the running AK onto the site was perhaps lucky to catch a bullet toward the head of Idis balance, but his teammates would have traded him anyway. And the movement around the corner of the pillar too was great to fake out the shot. So it was bang on. As you said, Idis balance did do very well to get 2 kills, but unfortunately he's the only player to get the 2 kills, and we mentioned that he's the one that probably will need to jump for Nemiga if they are to make the game out of this one. But unfortunately, there's not really much you can do all on your own. You're about to see the entries coming in here, and here's a shot from Davig, as you can see. Just to jump around the angle and then the running AK. That was absolutely perfect to fake out the shot, as I mentioned. Very clean indeed. And Nemiga will have their full buy. But Tine's only on the MP9 to afford you full util, and they don't have a secondary AWP again. Perhaps they've given up on that one. Who knows? But nothing's really worked for them so far, so got to try something.
I don't think the op was an option this time, unfortunately. Didn't really have the economy going. Maybe Box could have dropped it, but I'm not even too sure right there with how much he had spent. Either way, he wanted his M4 coming in, and they do have a decent enough buy, so we'll have to see if they can make this one work. But again, it's been a struggle. It's 9-1 already, no matter what. Movistar have got themselves a really good T side, and it really does seem like they're going to add quite a bit more to it before they get slowed down at all. This is looking rough for Nemiga, but I guess somewhat what we expected. I wasn't thinking it'd be this score, if I'm going to be honest with you, though. Thought there'd be a bit more of a fight coming in from Nemiga, even if it was going to be a struggle, obviously, with their newest addition here in Tenir, only coming in very recently. Oh, he actually spotted that boost above the oranges. Should know there's a second player here, and indeed, Moko just spams it away. Lear is going to be taken out of play without even seeing anyone. He was trying to be a useful teammate. He was trying to help out his teammate there over towards B, and he is the one that gets punished for it. As soon as trouble, I suppose, was seeing Jo, was like, nah, man, I'm out of here. I'm going to leave it.
That's a shame. Yeah, I mean, I am surprised that he stuck around because surely he would have realised it's the boost, and there's probably going to be a spray to come in, and it's a really nice opening pick to grab as well. 9-1. We're really seeing the golfing class between these two teams. To be fair, there's MP9 up close here for Tanir. Will he swing at the wrong time? Oh, he will. That's horrible. You swing for some information with 20 seconds on the clock, and you see 3 players, and you have to tell your teammates, okay, you're in for a rough time. Alex Balance will get one on the AWP, but Alex will take box out of the round again, clearing out that graveyard position. Unfortunately, once again, it's looking like a save. And look at the mini-map right now. We've got a little bit of ring around the rosy for Balance in library and the arch position. He will actually manage to get away, which is surprising. But yeah, it will have to be a save again. And it will be double digits for Movistar.
Yeah, as you said, they have to save. There's no other real option. Throwing them away in a 2-on-4 retake on A is not a good idea. Peeking into the spawn and maybe losing the up as well is also not a fantastic play. I'm not going to lie. Now that he's low held, I don't think they're going to ease up the pressure on him at all. Any sort of nades? No, not on the players who are on the hunt. If Alex was there with his HE, he could be tossing that in and maybe even getting the finish. I'm surprised they're not peeking this. Honestly, I thought they would have just both swung and tried to get him to bait out the one-up shot, happily take one death to just steal the op away. That's a weird one. They have so much money and there's not even many rounds left. Weird.
Exactly. I'm surprised about that. I mean, it makes zero sense to me why you would, 1, have a 10-1 lead, 2, have some pious on before he bought in this round, I believe, 15k. You've got other teammates as well, like Deft and Alex on almost 10k. So I really would think you'd commit, honestly, everyone in toward that position to clear out that AWP. That's a Molotov for Itis Balance, just to fake the sound. It might look dumb that he just threw that out the map, but it's purely for a sound cue to think that he's mollied it, or make the opponent think that he's mollied it, so he can go for a peek toward that bottom of apartments. But actually, it looks like it's going to be known. Des will flash it anyway. Unfortunately, it'll push him off the angle. And talking about pushing people off the angle, Mopos has pushed them out of the next round. Out of this round, sorry, and into the next round, because he's just taken 2 headshots in toward the B site. Box could only respond with 1. And once again, it's a 4v2 with a bomb plant coming in. Surely they look for a hunt this time. Surely.
Well, Bets is getting pretty close on mid, but we had them pretty close on B the last time, and they still kind of just parked it in place after a while. So we'll see. I would imagine, though, I mean, just try and take away the op. I've got to get, I say though, good read there over towards the apartments, because the last time Itis Balance was able to save the op over, that's exactly what we seen him do as well. He brought it in towards the apartments and took that peek down the stairs. So yeah. I guess the thing is, again, okay, they're on another one of those weaker buys. He's going to take a risk somewhere. We haven't seen him banana or mid. Be careful of that angle. And yeah, a little pop flash in to take him off of it. Good calls from Movistar, and really it's just been perfection from them so far. This has been a tremendous show, and as I said, they really are coming out firing in this season in comparison to what we got from them in the last one, where they were clearly struggling with a bit of a, I suppose, weaker map pool, as they hadn't really worked out a full 6 map pool by that stage. Now they've had a little bit of time, and they're looking so much more solid. Again, I want to see them against a team who've got a stable 5 of their own, which will really give us a benchmark, I suppose. But it's looking tremendous at the moment. Oh, getting rid of the op. Did they not want it?
You can't really do that in T-Spawn, on Inferno, I'm afraid. It's all invisible walls there. We've seen famous clips of that. Do you remember Zeus a long time ago tried to throw out an AWP in CT Spawn, I think, and then he just didn't realise that there's invisible walls everywhere and you can't actually get them out the map. But yeah, that was an unfortunate one for Inferno. That's a nice pick from Itis Balance, though. Late timing as well on that pick towards second middle. That was a bit risky, but you have to take risks at this stage. You can't sit back and let Movistar execute onto you. You mentioned that, you know, Movistar are looking to really advance as a team, having had some great results lately. And I mean, they've got, as I mentioned before in the pre-show, they have Copenhagen Flames in their group, so probably the best team by far in their group in this league this season. So if they play against each other this season, that'll be a mainstream matchup, that's for sure. Nice flick from Itis Balance to get a second. And with the leg shot from Geo toward Death's early on as well, this should be an Nemiga round. But I've said should about 2 others before, and they haven't gone that way.
With the health, though, I mean, surely, as you were saying before about the hunt coming on, surely this is going to be at least a round win here for Nemiga. If they lose this, honestly, I don't know, I'll claw some of my hair out, but this just shouldn't really be possible. They've got it all but confirmed. They should be honestly setting themselves up, hopefully, for the 4. The only problem is every one of those rounds is going to be against the full gun round because of how ridiculous the Movistar economy is. And I guess that's what they were probably setting themselves up for when not going for the hunts earlier on. They are walking into a bit of an A stack, though.
Yeah, I
At
mean,
least
Alex is full HP, isn't he? So, I mean, if he gets himself an entry, there are two players here. It could put the pressure on the second player who might miss a shot, and it could be some trouble. And here we go. Mopaz gets the entry towards Sinner, and now there's a player in a box to worry about. Gets himself one, and that should be enough. Box does get the one, but look at the health. They will be able to get the bomb planted. 6 seconds on the clock, but Deaths can get it down. Unfortunately, there isn't really much utility for Nemiga to retake here. Now this is where it gets scary. 20 HP combined for Movistar in this situation, but a double AWP retake. Okay, the HP doesn't matter when you wallbang headshot with an AWP. Devs can only get one and Leah trades it. That's one way to do it.
They still make it very, very costly, though. I thought it was initially a little bit of a two-man piss stack there between the two so that they could work off each other, but just because the long player was so passive. But no, there was one up in the apps. It ended up kind of working in their favor, though. I think Death's done a ton more damage to Mopos when he was trying to get the kill onto the player in the apartments as well, so it made things even just that little bit harder. But I mean, if you don't start things off with that wallbang there on that on the retake, honestly, I think there would have been a little bit of a chance for the two of them to potentially get it done. Deaths was still able to at least get the one more kill, make it a little bit more costly, and potentially now with Movistar to win this round, you could see Nemiga even struggling somewhat with their buy in the next one. The up battle, though, we get it early on mid, and it's Sun Pius who wins it out this time. A little bit surprised that Idis Balance goes for it again after having peaked it in the previous round towards second mid.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised as well, but I think he realizes that aggression is probably the name of the game today. He needs to show up and be as aggressive as possible to give his team a chance in some of these rounds. He was the instigator previous. And, oh, that's a lovely flash, though. The classic flash short of a banana will take Mopaz out round, thanks to Leah and Geo with the finishing strike. Box has spotted the lurk toward the apartments as well. And now they're stacked up toward the left-hand corner of the A site. They're going to be creeping up toward Movistar, toward A here at Movistar. And this double stack shouldn't be too much to deal with. First for Sinner, Death does get a trade. It's actually getting a bit awkward now because all the bullets are running out. And because of that, they get the 2 trades and they know where Geo is as well. I thought for sure that walking into that mixer for Movistar would not work out. As it is, it's going to be a 12.
It's just, I mean, it's ridiculously out of control. What more can we say about this one at this stage? I think J.O.'s been left in this exact save 3 or 4 times at this stage, so he's not having a good time at all. He's gotten very familiar with this B-bomb site late on in the rounds. He'll get himself the 1 kill there onto Sun Pius, but it's not really going to make much of a difference to the T's economy. They have plenty to rebuy in this next round, so I'm surprised if Alex and Deaths don't just throw themselves at him right now. And even then, look at Alex. He's taking a while to come through B. He seems to think that J.O. may have went back, so it doesn't even seem like they're going to be able to take it away from him. Again, though, these couple kills aren't going to have any sort of an impact. It's just maybe letting J.O. get a bit of confidence going. The stat padding at the very least.
Yeah. It's stat padding. That's unfortunately all it is in that situation. They will survive with 2 ops on the server, 1 for each team. And here you can see the situation. I mean, the amount of damage done. I mean, it's actually some pies to hit the wallbang in the end there. That's one thing I didn't pick up on beforehand. Actually, got the information there were 2 players there, and he just no-scopes the... or quick scopes the edge of the wall and gets that wallbang. Very, very easy wallbang to hit sometimes when you've got the AWP. You always know where that player is. But yeah, we've got the last round of the half now coming in. And that setup didn't work for Nemiga, and there's been many setups so far I've seen in this game which I thought could work, should work, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's 12-2 Movistar, and they have a chance to make it 13.
It does just seem they're a bit outmatched, right? It's what we said could be an issue coming in after losing the firepower of Lollipop. You need Idis Balance and J.O. to give a lot more, and while neither player has looked bad by any means, they're still getting kind of out-rifled by their I guess, comparable players over on Movistar. It just isn't enough for really any sort of an impact to be had for them to string any rounds together. And obviously after losing out the initial 5 rounds, they were just always massively on the back foot, never having a chance against any sort of a weaker buy. So it's been a rough time all around. I do think Mirage should definitely go better than this, since the bar's been set so low, but whether they can get the victory or not is a whole different question. Let's see what will be done, though. Through the smoke, Lear picks up an opening on Alex. That's a pretty decent find. And there's not a lot of time left, so they do actually have to get a move on towards the bomb site itself pretty quickly. And it seems like they're going to start bringing the bomb back down and up Banana now, where currently only J.O. resides. He does have a smoke, though, rather, so if he times that well, he could hold them off.
That is true. Unfortunately, Davy G missed the lurk smoke there from the balcony. It shouldn't mean too much. It's still shown presence, but I think it might realise now that the B site is probably the order of the day. The rotations now are coming in for Nemiga, but no, 16 seconds to go, and they're calling the bomb back toward A. What a call this is. If Des gets the 2 kills, it might not matter, and he's only gone and done it. 2 for him on the entry. 9 seconds to go, though, and there's still a play on the site. Davy G gets the headshot, but will they get the bomb down in time? I think they will. What a call from Movistar. That looked like such an unlikely situation to actually get the bomb over in time. They made the call with about 16 seconds to go, and they managed to pull it off. Now it's Idis Balance on a retake, only on 21 HP. Gio has got the defuse kit and the rifle, but really it's down to him. It's going to be such a tough situation. Another one for Idis Balance, another wallbang on the AWP. He's been insane. One of the shining lights for Nemiga in this half, but Damage's in position, gets that frag, and now it's all down to Gio. Some players will no-scope him as well to finish it off. That is exactly what you would expect. We're going to go to a break. After this, we'll see if Nemiga are still alive.
Walk a different path, nothing can hold me back. I passed the point of no return, something is calling me. It's in the air that I breathe. Bring me back to life again. Dancing with my fear, burning with desire. We gon' take it to the edge and come alive. Go to hell and back just to feel the fire. We gon' turn up in this place and come alive. Oh, I see the signs and I see we're there, and I feel the lies and I feel the sand. Forever hold, no matter if we cast away, a fire in the dark. I know that you will be where we know again.
Hello and welcome back to the Movistar Riders Show. Nemiga don't know how to put an end to it at the moment. I'm Travis alongside Dean, and right now we're witnessing a bit of a massacre. It's been a fantastic first half for Movistar. Now they switch to the CT side, looking to close it out and get us to Mirage as quickly as possible. Pissed around live, Nemiga probably had a chance for about a 10-5 half, I'd say, in that previous one. But in the end, it was all cleaned up by Movistar in ridiculous fashion. That's a disgusting shot from some pass on the pistol. It's just a fast play up mid for Nemiga. They do get 2 trades. They will have only 1 player left on the side for Movistar, and he will get taken down. So 4 versus 2 in an afterplant. This should be the round this time.
Hopefully, fingers crossed that they can't let this one slip away. It's definitely theirs to lose, as Alex and Mopos don't have really the greatest amount of time to deal with these 4 players as they move forward. They do at least have a kit, but it's not a smoke that he's got alongside it, instead of flash for Mopos. And honestly, if they don't get a quick kill, I think a save is on the cards. Even just save the Kevlar, have a kit to work with in this next round where you're very likely going to force buy anyway. Even though it is such a massive lead on the second round of Inferno, you're not really too often going to take an eco, because then going into round 3, if you get that buy anyway, you just about get your M4s out. You get very few nades behind that, and it's a little bit risky in general. So they likely will force up into things, of course. You can see Nemiga want these extra kills. See if they can get a few extra 100 each there. Not going to be landing, I don't think. They don't really need to give anything away. I've got to say, though, good entries from Premeir. Good recovery as well after Sunpai's hit what was a pretty nasty shot on the player jumping around the long corner. And it gives a bit of hope now for Nemiga maybe to get going, because the T side of Inferno. It's definitely possible that you can have just as strong of a showing as Movistar just had. Even if I don't exactly imagine it happening, I didn't imagine Movistar doing it either.
True. And yeah, with Alex saving as well in the pistol round, it means he can buy that 350 helmet, as we mentioned. So it'll be a nice little bit of protection for him in this one against the MAC-10s especially. There are 3 AKs this time though for Nemiga. If you remember in the first half, Movistar went for 3 MAC-10s and 2 Galils, and that worked for the first 4 rounds basically, or 3 rounds after the pistol. And we're going to have to see what this Deagle crossfire will work. Of course, the Deagle nerf coming in is pretty rough now, needs 3 body shots. But still, if you hit the headshot, it can be very tasty indeed. But flash over toward the corner, and there's the body spam coming in. But of course, because of that, only get 1. And Geo will at least take deaths as well. So should all be fine for versus 3 for Nemiga. And they've checked the site, seen it's clear, and they'll be absolutely fine. Should get up to 4. As you said, we start to look to save same situation as in the first half, and try and keep those pistols to go again in the next.
Yeah, may as well. Good few nades behind it especially also, so that's going to be quite useful as long as they can hang on to them. It looks like Alex is maybe tempted to use it if it's necessary to actually save the weaponry, which would be understandable. But a 4th round for Nemiga, a fairly clean one as well, only losing out on Lear, which was one of the MAC-10s. It's exactly how they need to kick things off, really. It needs to be in a clean fashion, and they just have to ensure, really, that if they do end up losing a round, that they have more than enough to immediately bounce back. And, yeah, not really let a chain of rounds go at any point. If they do, then it's going to obviously be Movistar's map to win, since they're only a couple away from at least confirming the overtime. I think I can understand why they chose Inferno, though. Movistar are looking tremendous here, despite it being a map that Nemiga play so often. I guess you kind of lose out on that that advantage, though, with the roster change. You know that they've pretty recently met. I think they've only played it a couple of times with Premeir.
Yeah, it's a tough situation, that is for sure. Tough, nice nade, though. And when I say nade, nades, because that is 2 HP on box. Pretty remarkable. He's able to get away with that one. The MAC-10, of course, is fine. We dropped over the utility, so he'll be the utility man in this round. No reason to be anything else on 2 HP. So he keeps coming in for Nemiga, but it might be a little bit of a fake. We're not going to go past this smoke, I'd imagine. And that is a shot and a half from Alex. Okay, there, unfortunately, mate, you're out of the round. Straight through the smoke with the Deagle, in the head as well. And it gets a bit scary, as we've mentioned, with Box being on 2 HP. So who knows? We've got a Zeus on Davy G. If that gets 1 for 1, who knows?
Yeah, this is definitely doable. The USP going to actually charge through, hoping to maybe take the attention away from the boost. It gives Alex the chance to drop that bomb carrier, but he's lost his teammates in on the bomb site, so it's going to be hard for them to actually turn this now into a round win. Although with the health of Idas balance, as well as Box being low, and now Tanir even being tagged up a little bit, I was going to say maybe the dream is still there, but they haven't got the numbers anymore. It's Sun Pius on a Deagle, it's Deaths just on the USP. Let's see what can be done. They're, at the very least, having delayed now Nemiga quite massively. That bomb is yet to be planted, because you can see they're quite afraid of having to deal with these pistols once they start to put it down. And Box just decides, nah, I'm having none of this anymore. He peeks around, gets the flanker on Banana, and then spams that final player through the CT smoke, saying, all right, guys, I'll deal with it if you're not gonna. 5 rounds on the board for Nemiga, but it's not a confidence-inspiring one, really. Even if a couple of those moments were somewhat lucky for Movistar, that's all they need when they've got such a massive lead.
Yeah, sure. I haven't even had a proper first buy yet, so they'll still be feeling very confident indeed. And we have the full buy now with Sunpius on the AWP, and as I bring up his name, he takes down his fellow AWP in this balance. We mentioned that could be an interesting duel in this match, and I gotta say, we've actually had quite a few 1v1s between them. And when I say 1v1s early in the round, from the bottom of middle to the top of middle. But yeah, it's a nice one to watch. Both very talented, of course. Idas Balance was around for quite a long time. I believe he was paid for Spirit for a little bit as well, if I'm not mistaken. That was a pretty fun roster. Sunpius, though, is the new star for sure when it comes to the AWPing scene, especially in Spain, let alone World CS. And he'll take him out of the round to begin with. Minute left on the clock. Nemiga are just waiting around toward Banana. It seems like that's probably their go-to in this half. Do it until it stops working. There are 2 players on the site. If they can hit the entries, It could be set for play. Here comes the utility. Molotov will be trying to force out some of these players from that position, and there we go. They actually don't realise at all, Mopos, that Mopos doesn't realise at all that they're actually up past the smoke yet. So with the Molotov burning down Alex, should be enough. We'll spot the player retreating through the smoke and spam him down too. And that's a 4 vs 2 to work with, and it should be Nemiga's 6th.
Yeah. Sunpius and Davi G will save the AK and the op at least, so they'll have some pretty good weaponry coming into this next round, but I don't think they'll be looking at a full buy behind it either way. So Nemiga are on track now to, at the very least, get going and warm themselves up before moving on to Mirage. That's the minimum that you need to see. If you can get Movistar to cool off as well and maybe to lack some of that confidence that so far has been really driving them through this map, then I could see Mirage going a lot better for them because, again, statistically, it's not very good for Movistar. With the small caveat of the fact that the teams that they play tend to be quite good. So you can give them maybe some leeway for some of the losses that they do suffer. But it's still wondering where Nemiga at least should be given a much, much better result than this overall. So now that we're seeing them get on their feet a little bit, it does make me optimistic for the fact that we could have a competitive second map and maybe still a 3-map series in general. Or maybe I'm even jumping the gun because who knows? Maybe Nemiga have got it in them to make the full-on comeback happen here. And I think with a little bit of a pause coming in, this one might be from Movistar. Indeed, we've just had that confirmed from the producer, so thank you. As they have a bit of a chat, realizing, okay, well, we're not in danger quite yet, but let's have a pause anyway. We have them, let's use them. What sort of adjustments can we make now to try and ensure that we don't get into that danger zone?
Well, sure. Could be very curious to see if they can actually make some progress. I mean, if they can get to around 8, 9 rounds, just a couple off the double digits, that might put Movistar under a bit of pressure. And of course, while the team on the opposing side is on 13, 14, you always feel like you have a chance. If they're on 15, it can sort of be a bit demoralising, but a couple away from a victory is always gives you a little bit of motivation to feel like you have a shot. Sunpire still has his AWP though in this round alongside Davi G's saved AK, so they are most certainly still a threat in this one. And that's a lovely pick from Sunpius, again besting his fellow AWPer Idis Balance. Second round in a row now, and that one was a bit fancier than the first.
Ooh, feel more Deegs through the smoke there. Doesn't happen for now though. And yeah, you can see they really don't have any information of what's going on right now. Even the player at bottom Banana is being very, very cautious that there could be someone pushing down mid. And it's funneling them in towards B, rather, where you've got these 3 players, where you've got the op in place as well. This is going to be quite dangerous for Nemiga if they do actually fully commit on this one. At the moment, though, just probing around the edge of that smoke that is rocking a little bit of a gap and giving them some room to, I guess, have an idea at least of what they might have came up against on the other side. And what they do see actually influences them to call it off. They decide, all right, yeah, let's not commit to B. It's a close range sight. Those pistols are going to be a little bit more favored than they would be otherwise. We're going to bring it back towards A, and at the moment might have a chance even to catch these potentially players isolated with 1 over on long and then 1 up on the balcony. And indeed, they're going to move towards long. So Death's on the Deagle. The timing is horrible. He just moves away from Moto.
Yeah, but he's going to get the information. The smoke toward Arch will make him realise exactly what's going on in this situation. Sunpice is rotating with AWP, and he could fire off a few shots here. There's no smoke for Library. That'll drop the bomb as well. And now he'll have all the information for his team. The Deagle in the smoke of death does so much damage to Box. Does he get away with it? I think he might actually for now, but no, Box does go down. Good trades coming back in though, and the bomb will get planted in time. Opposite is here in the flank though, and he does hit all 3 shots required to take down Leah, and even takes the last as well. He looked a bit shocked by that one, and Nemiga will get caught off by the pistols. Good recovery, but that was basically a great start from Sunpius as well, with Mopos just finishing it off.
Yeah, it's a little bit worrying now for Nemiga, where one of the rounds that they could afford to lose actually is dropped against the half buy. There was only obviously the op and the AK there to work with. Blair done his best. I've got to say, he's shown us some good moments at least here as they're kind of clawing their way back into it, helping out Idis Balance and Jo. He's been one of the kind of leading factors so far on this T set, actually, because I believe Idis Balance and Jo got quite a few of their kills back on the CT side as well. Blair, on the other hand, has stepped up a little bit since the halftime. Can he keep that up? Can everyone keep it up now is the question, because 14-6, there's not another real opportunity for mistakes to be made. Look at his mid-charge. All right, that's a bit ambitious from Davy G, I've got to say. Didn't have a flash down either, or at least if it was, it wasn't wide enough, rather, to actually catch a player who was tucked in on that angle. So it's going to be an early first blood coming the way of Nemiga without really too much effort even being put into achieving it.
For sure, and now There's a chance to answer back. This Balance has got an entry, not toward his arch rival, Sun Pius, but yeah, they all count. And now they're going to go back to their old favourite of B. We've seen that B has been the side that's worked the best for them, but of course they did avoid that stack in the previous round, which was the right call, but in the end fell foul of there not being a library smoke to Sun Pius. And now we're going to see a bit of an execute coming in. There are two players here. Gio will be advancing forward, and there we go. Good entry from him. Mopos goes down, and actually, Alex right in the face. Won't be able to get anything done. That'll be a 5 versus 2. Sun Pius will almost certainly save the AWP alongside Death's silenced M4. And Nemiga, they're going to have half the score of Movistar at 14-7. But at least it's some promise for maybe a few more rounds in this game and perhaps the next map.
Yeah, that's really all I'm looking for at the moment. Just the fact that they get themselves into it a little bit more and that they can make Mirage more competitive, because it does seem like Movistar have had their ticket throughout this entire Inferno game so far, and even with them clawing back these few rounds now, they just can't make a single mistake, and it's not really the level of CS we've been seeing from them so far. They were definitely given a little bit of a chance in this one, as I said, with that crazy mid push coming in, which I didn't love, I'm not going to lie, from DVG. Maybe if he had a bit of support, if there was a second player coming down to help him out, could have backed it a little bit more.
Yeah.
They should be buying here at least.
Often you see that, don't you? You usually see a second player coming in as support. It's a bit like pushing mid on Mirage. You usually try and do it with 2 or 3 CTs. You make the commitment to clear it out. But just DVG going for it is not really ideal. If he goes 1 for 1, it's fine. But if you walk into the scope of the AWP of Idis Balance, you're not really going to get away with it that often. So it's going to be a nice one for Nemiga to keep themselves alive. And yeah, as I say, I mean, this is Movistar's map pick, so there's still a chance that Nemiga could have something to say on Mirage. Who knows? As we mentioned, they have played it recently against each other. Great flash from Mopos. We'll take a nice easy frag for Alex. And take box out the round as well. And they're leaping into pit right now. And somehow DVG player standing on his head, basically. Goomba stomped. But unfortunately, the kill still went his way. Good Molotov, though. I mean, Gio forces Deaths out of that pit position. And gets a frag in response. Good grenade from Sun Pius, though. Takes him down to 30. There still might be a chance to get somewhere toward the site. It all depends on what Idis Balance can do. He's creeping around toward long right now. There are 2 players in that cubby, but I think they are looking for it. It's going to be a tough one. He has to leap around the angle. You can see it on the mini-map. They're grouped up again now on Nemiga. And should know at least that at least 2 players are here. And a third has rotated over. Might have heard it toward Arch. So they're going to leap off toward B. And it is the correct call. That site is clear. And they could have an after plant to work with.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, the bomb plant's going down, as you said. So that's the extra economy, which would be useful-ish, even if not necessary. We'll see what can be done in the actual after plant now with a little bit of utility even there in that molly to try and delay the push through construction and through that CT spawn in general. Smoke down to confirm, rather to cover off the angle so they can just try and actually move in from the CT spawn and banana together. But they've got to deal with the op of Idis Balance. A flash in does take him initially off the angle and gives a bit of room for the pit player to get going forward. Another smoke as well going down as they isolate JO in towards the second oranges, and there really shouldn't be anything Idis Balance can do anymore. Hoping maybe for the spam through the smoke to connect, but it's not going to happen. Alex just sticks that defuse and manages to pull it through 15-7 now, as he at least hangs onto the weapon. That's a small positive.
It's unfortunately the only positive. It does put Movistar up to 15 and up to map point as well. There is another map coming through, don't forget. It's just the first map in this series. So we're going to have probably a likely victory for Movistar. Let's see what Sun Pius can do in this situation. Of course, I don't know the result of this game yet, but I will warn you guys in chat right now that there obviously is currently still a little bit of a bug with the servers and with GoTV, where it will end the game on match point. So if we do see a auto disconnect, then we'll have to assume that Movistar have won. That's just an unfortunate situation that is currently going on right now. Maybe the bug will be fixed today. Who knows? Maybe we'll be lucky. Sun Pius will get the first toward Gio. And that might set Alex up, because he has a chance to possibly spray through this smoke. Utility will be picked up by Mopoz as he rotates back round. In fact, there are 2 in front of the smoke now for Movistar. So that's impossible for Nemiga to go through if they wanted to. Would be a death sentence for sure. Especially walking into 2 silenced M4s as well with no tracers. Tasty grenade. Wow. Puts Iris balance down to 56. Lear 71 and Box 80. And even a boost up toward quad as well. This should be enough. Mopoz will throw out some counter util. And their boost is going to work out perfectly. Alex gets the first and it's already forced them back. Bit of hesitation coming in here. There is a player toward Arch, which could possibly catch a few players, but I think it's going to be too late. A nice frag from Sunpice makes it a 5 versus 2. Alex even gets one more. Now it's all down to Tinner in a 1 versus 4, and it's not going to happen. And then thankfully we do avoid the dreaded ESEA server bug with GoTV. So fantastic. We get to see the end of the match, and we get to see Movistar bring that one out very nicely indeed.
Yeah, I mean, just a tremendous showing from Movistar. Even if they slowed down a little bit at the end, it was still just overall their initial T side especially was really, really solid. They're looking like a solid 5-man Sun Pius on the op looks really good. Newest additions of Deaths especially looking solid in pretty much every single game I've seen from them. So it's promising, but I am expecting more now on map 2. I don't think it's going to be such a walkover if I'm being honest. Before we get to map 2, guys, though, we are going to have a little bit of a break. So make sure you stick with us. As I said, when we come back, we're going to have Mirage. And if we're lucky, maybe even a third map in Nuke.